Good morning, Mr. Poilievre. What's your message to the Conservative caucus this morning?
You're about to find out.
Voyez quoi pour la suite des choses, Monsieur Poilievre?
It's his first birthday. Regarde, 1 an aujourd'hui. Incroyable, hein? C'est le baby cruise. On va chanter, on va avoir un peu de gâteau. We're gonna have a little bit of cake in there.
What kind of changes do you expect in the approach in the House of Commons now that Pierre Poilievre is leading?
I don't expect much in the way of changes, to be quite frank. We were doing a good job leading up until the summer recess of holding the government to account on the issues that are important to Canadians. I expect that to continue, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting back and holding the government to account. There's a lot of issues that Canadians are concerned about. I travel across the country this summer, obviously inflation, affordability. People are upset, they're anxious. Young people are somewhat despondent. They don't feel that there's any hope. They feel like they've been lied to by the government, and we're going to continue to hold them to account.
Do you expect that new critics are going to be named by the time you folks are back in there?
That'll be up to the new leader. Typically, the process is that the leader would sit down with his leadership team, talk about who the new critics are going to be, and then he'll make an announcement, but that'll be up to the new leader.
Given you were on Ms. Bergen's leadership team, in the House anyways, have you had any discussions with Mr. Poilievre?
I have, yes, I have. And my plan is to, and Pierre's plan for me is to have a new leadership team in place, and I expect that he's going to make that announcement soon. So, look, I've really enjoyed being the House Leader. We've had a lot to deal with over the last 7 months, not the least of which is the invocation of the Emergencies Act, the NDP Liberal Coalition. I really have enjoyed my time as House Leader, and I appreciate the opportunity that Candace has given to me. I will support the new leader in whatever way I can, and the new House Leader as well, and I'm looking forward to the House resuming. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm extremely proud of Pierre Poilievre. I think he ran a great leadership race, and certainly overwhelming support for him, 68%. He is the guy that can unite the party, and I think Canadians have hope.
How do you think he's going to unite the party?
Well, even last night, or on Saturday night at the celebration, he had conciliatory remarks to all of the people that ran. He thanked every one of them. He talked about the things they'd done for the country, and I think embraced everybody to come back in the fold.
Should he still fire the Bank of Canada Governor General?
Well, certainly he's done nothing to address the inflation problem that is pinching the pockets of Canadians from coast to coast.
Yes.
Can you talk about party unity as that ship sailed?
I think Candice Bergen did an amazing job of resetting the tone for the party and bringing us all together. So she presented to Pierre a united caucus, and I think from there, there's nowhere to go but up. Canadians have hope. We're seeing it across the country, a lot of excitement. I know you guys have seen the same. And so it's a good day. I'm looking to see what's going to happen.
We know Mr. Poilievre made a surprise visit to Quebec caucus this morning. Where are things standing on this question of unity?
Well, I think that was a clear and very positive signal sent by the leader that we will work more than ever as a team, and we did that, and then it was a very clear and very happy moment for all of us because, having the surprise visit of the leader on day one, what a great message was sent to everybody. He listened to us very carefully for a full half an hour. That was very intense and positive, and a clear, good signal sent by the leader on day one. We do appreciate that.
How does that resolve the policy differences, things like Bill 21?
Well, we had to address few issues, and as you know, this is part of the official debate, and we will continue on that. This is what politics is all about. Et oui. Pourquoi c'était plus important d'aller voir le caucus du Québec que d'autres problèmes? Je sais pas si il faudra peut-être plus à M. Poilievre à répondre à ça. Ben, je dis pas que c'est plus important ou pas important. Ce que je sais, c'est que ce matin, nous, tous les députés du Québec, on était là, la porte s'ouvre, boum, on voit le chef qui est là. Quel bon moment. C'est un très bon signal envoyé par le chef d'unité, par le chef d'être à l'écoute du Québec. Je pense qu'il l'a très bien démontré d'ailleurs lors de son discours, où il a pris des engagements, où il a fait état de sa connaissance du français impeccable, là. Nous le reconnaissons tous. De Parti uni, c'est la première fois que depuis M. Mulroney qu'on a cette qualité de bilinguisme absolu de la part de M. Poilievre. Donc on est bien heureux de voir. Donc nous, ce qu'on voit actuellement, c'est que le chef a envoyé un signal très clair que nous travaillons tous ensemble. La rencontre de ce matin était la bienvenue et on est très heureux de voir que le chef est là à notre écoute. Et tout à fait.
Should Jean Charest stick around to advise Pierre Poilievre about Quebec?
Well, I think Mr. Charest will act again as a real classman after the vote. He sent a clear message of unity, and also, as you know, he will remain in the party. And I'm sure that Mr. Poilievre and all the team welcomed that kind of comments made or advice or observation made by any member of the party, and Mr. Cher is one of them.
Donc, le geste de M. Poilievre ce matin, comment vous l'interprétez? Quelle est sa valeur?
C'est un très beau signal envoyé par le chef. On sait que le chef s'est exprimé dans un français impeccable, qu'il a le Québec à cœur. Il l'a dit, il l'a exprimé. Mais il l'a démontré aussi ce matin, en faisant une visite surprise au caucus. On était là tous réunis, on est à la porte, boum, le chef est là. Très belle visite, on est très, très enchantés par sa présence. On ne le savait pas, non.
Wow. Okay.
Merci bien.
Merci.
Pourquoi c'est important pour M. Poilievre d'aller... C'était quoi? C'était une branche d'olivier ce matin au Québec?
Bon, on peut appeler ça une branche d'olivier, mais surtout pour démontrer comme quoi que le caucus du Québec est important pour lui. Et ça l'a fait, les députés du Québec étaient vraiment impressionné de voir que le premier geste de Pierre Poilievre cette première journée, c'est d'aller rencontrer le caucus québécois et d'avoir une discussion avec tout le monde, un par un, vraiment. Et c'était, mes collègues étaient très heureux de ça et ont été très impressionnés par son approche. Et c'est ce qui est important aujourd'hui. On parle vraiment d'unité. Le caucus du Québec est un caucus très important au sein du caucus national. Et ce matin, on est tous unis, tous fiers d'être avec Pierre Poilievre. Et c'est ce qui est le plus important pour moi.
C'est un geste, un premier geste, mais il y a plein d'autres décisions qui s'en viennent.
Absolument. Écoutez, là, c'est le premier jour, c'est la première heure là, de nouvelle ère, d'un nouveau chef. Donc, il y a énormément de jalons à placer. Mais il reste que l'unité, c'est la première chose à faire lorsqu'on a un nouveau chef. Là, le caucus national va commencer. On va pouvoir, avec tous nos collègues, s'associer à notre chef. Par la suite, là, il reste beaucoup de travail à faire et la session qui commence. Donc, on se prépare pour ça aussi.
GNL Québec, il a dit qu'il était en faveur de ça.
Absolument.
Maintenant, c'est votre position à vous aussi?
Écoutez, pour nous, GNL Québec, compte tenu des problèmes en Europe, on a vu récemment, même l'Europe demande d'avoir du gaz naturel liquéfié du Canada. GNL Québec, c'est un projet qui est très important. Bon, pour l'instant, on laisse M. Lehoux avec sa décision. Il y a une campagne électorale au Québec, donc on ne s'ingère pas là-dedans, mais il reste que pour nous, ce serait très important de pouvoir exporter nos ressources et même utiliser nos propres ressources au Canada davantage.
Le moral de vos collègues québécois, vous étiez le seul à avoir.
Ah oui.
M. Poilievre,
oui.
Vous les connaissez depuis longtemps.
Oui.
C'était quoi le moral ce matin?
Bien, finalement, j'ai eu de la bonne humeur. Des gens qui sont capables de... La course est finie, le gagnant est choisi, on fait la coupure, la course à la chefferie est terminée. Et là, maintenant, on regarde vers l'avant. Et c'est ce que j'ai senti de mes collègues du Québec. Comme j'ai fait avec mes collègues à l'époque, lorsqu'on avait appuyé Peter MacKay, on s'est rallié à Renault Tour et on part vers l'avant. Et c'est vraiment ce que j'ai senti ce matin. Des gens prêts à continuer.
Il y a certains de vos collègues qui aimeraient qu'on ramène plus de parti dans leur centre, plus progressiste notamment. Est-ce que vous avez senti ça ce matin?
Non, écoutez, là, ce qui est important, c'est qu'on est un parti de droite. Le Parti conservateur est un parti de droite. La droite, centre-droit, un petit peu plus à droite. À un moment donné, il y a différents courants dans le mouvement conservateur. Mais à la base, on est un parti de droite, tout simplement. Et pour nous, des coalitions de gauche, même d'extrême gauche, comme le NPD et les libéraux, c'est ça qui est notre défi politique, d'amener des positions qui sont différentes de ce que les libéraux et le NPD amènent. Mais d'être de droite, c'est tout simplement d'être de droite. Mais arrêtons de penser qu'il y a des extrêmes, là. On n'est pas dans l'extrême au Canada.
Une petite question en anglais. Maybe
Yes.
I'll just ask you, sir. Do you feel that you are going to have some work to do in terms of bringing the Quebec caucus together? Is there? I know Mr. Poilievre made a visit this morning, but that alone is not going to heal some of the policy differences.
But the first thing to do after a leadership race is to unite our troops, the troops. And this morning, with the visit of Mr. Poilievre at the Quebec caucus, is the first signal to unite everyone. And my Quebec colleagues was very proud of it. They said, "Oh, it's fantastic. The first thing Pierre Poilievre do is to come to our caucus to have a chat with us." And so, actually, if you meet each single one of my Quebec caucus colleagues, they say, "Okay, that's very fine. That's he's a real leader."
Do you think Bill 21 is the biggest?
No.
Is that the biggest dividing issue? The biggest place where folks are going to have to come together?
Actually, we're not there. Actually, it's an issue for Quebec. There's an election in Quebec, so we don't have to talk about Bill 21 these days. And anyway, you want to talk about it, but actually what I want to, first thing is to be sure that everyone is united in our caucus. It's very strong for Quebec now, and we just need to be all the team together and to be ready to restart the House next week.
You saw Mr. Nadeau-Dubois using Mr. Poilievre as almost a wedge, right? Is François Legault really going to support this man? What did you
actually?
think about that?
What I don't like actually is that kind of comment from Mr. Nadeau-Dubois. It's we're not used as Conservatives to be involved in Quebec politics. We never help any candidate from any party, as well as the Quebec Conservative or the CAQ or whatever. So I don't expect from the Dubois or the other leader to talk about Mr. Poilievre. So,
but they're making him into a kind of a boogeyman, right? Like they're painting him as a bad guy.
Yeah, I know. But his words and what I can say, I don't like it. Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely. How you're feeling this morning? This was not the outcome that you had hoped for.
I'm feeling great. Our party has made a decision. It's a very decisive decision. And I'm looking forward to hearing what Pierre Poilievre has to say to us this morning.
Can you guarantee that you're sticking around?
Absolutely. I'm sticking around. I'm a conservative, and I'm asking all conservatives now to unite behind our new leader.
Does this mean that you're going to have to...
You probably are able to speak with him and give him some advice. What kind of advice would you like to give him when you have a...
Well, the advice I would give him will be done between him and myself. I certainly will share my views, as I have in the past, within caucus, and certainly within the privacy of confidential meetings, but I expect I'm going to have a constructive relationship with our new leader.
Does this mean you're going to be telling us that the governor of the Bank of Canada should be fired? Is that where this leaves us?
No, I won't ever be telling you that. I will be giving advice to Mr. Poilievre, and I'll highlight the independence of the central bank and how important that is as one of our key institutions in Canada. But at the end of the day, it's like any other family. It's like any other party. We do have differences of opinion from time to time. We'll have arguments. We resolve them as a family. Then we get on with the business of hopefully replacing Justin Trudeau's failed government. So I've got to go. I got to go.
What is it that you would like to hear?
I hear you got a new leader.
The Liberals are already out talking about you guys being irresponsible, whatnot. What are you getting ready to do with it?
Well, I can tell you what you're telling me is that Liberals are desperate. Liberals are desperate to try to define who Pierre is because they know that Pierre is going to win voters that have traditionally voted Liberal. So obviously they're desperate today. They'll be desperate in the days to come, and so we expect a lot of things thrown at us. But what we're going to do is talk to Canadians. Pierre has been talking to Canadians and getting huge outcomes in terms of people coming out to see him, hear his message. So it's going to be very difficult for the Liberals to define him because Pierre is now known by Canadians.
Do you think your caucus is unified?
You're talking to Canadians, you got to talk to each other too. We know Quebec caucus in particular, not necessarily on side. We know he visited this morning, but what do you guys have to do to have a little kumbaya group hug?
Well, I can assure you, I've spoken to my Quebec colleagues, and they're very much on side. Everyone in our caucus is absolutely committed to replacing. Everyone is sticking together to replace Justin Trudeau in the next election.
Can I just ask you about that, Mr. Warkentin? Because so far no one's leaving, you're correct, but Mr. Scheer Saturday night seemed to say because the results are so overwhelming, there is no need to talk about unity. Everyone is united, and essentially hinting that whoever's not happy, well, it's their personal choice, and that's rubbing a lot of Quebec Conservatives the wrong way. So
I can assure you that everybody is unified to replace Justin Trudeau. What I also know is that there's not unity in the Liberal caucus right now because people do not believe that in the Liberal caucus that Justin Trudeau is a leader that should lead them into the next election. I can tell you, I'll tell you again, there's absolutely, it's a unified caucus. We are absolutely working together, and I can tell you that unity is a process, and so it always takes, it's a living relationship, and so obviously there will be work to after every leadership race, and that work continues. But I can tell you that having spoken to many of my colleagues, there is an excitement about getting to work.
Chris, can I just one loose end about the guy who confronted Freeland. Confronted Poilievre, also in Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
We saw the video. You spoke to him, but you couldn't hear it. Can you just tell us what that guy's beef was with Poilievre?
I'm trying to de-escalate that for everyone's safety, including my family's. So I'd rather not comment.
Just tell us how you're feeling today. Tell Mike how you're feeling today.
It's a somber day today as we mourn the passing of Her Majesty. I am relieved that what I would call our war of succession is over. Mr. Poilievre received a crushing mandate that I think is going to provide some much needed stability to our caucus at a time when we need to focus as an official opposition on holding the government to account. There are very many serious issues facing the country right now, including affordability, cost of living, and it's back to work for us.
Will you then be on side with Mr. Poilievre on issues like nobody goes to the World Economic Forum, firing the governor of the Bank of Canada? Is that what unity means going forward?
I think that at a time when Canadians are struggling to make ends meet, I think it's problematic that the World Economic Forum has been putting out very far left policies and showing its value only through glitzy parties that no one can afford. I think that I've written extensively on this subject, and again, we're focusing on Canadians. Thank you.
How are you folks going to bring your colleagues on side who didn't endorse Mr. Poilievre or maybe didn't like some of the things he said on the campaign trail, and now that you're all supposed to be one happy caucus?
I think we are one happy caucus. I know that a number of us were over and met with other campaigns on Saturday evening and had some great conversations with our colleagues from various camps. And one of the things that we all agree on is that we are conservatives. We believe in the same things for our country, and we're excited to get to work to make sure that those things happen and give hope back to Canadians.
What if there is some dissension, though? What if people are not fully on side and those wounds have not healed yet?
You know, I think time heals things. You know, one of the things that I have seen over the my 6 years here is that we have been great at expressing our various opinions on things and still have respect for one another. And I think that's the beauty of our caucus, is we can disagree and we can have great disagreements, but we still respect each other, and we know we have a task in front of us, and we're here to serve Canadians, and that's what we're here to do.
Does the mandate mean it's Pierre's way or the highway?
No, I've never got that from Pierre. I think one of the things that Pierre is great at is a consensus builder and working together as a team.
But a lot of your colleagues, like Mr. Scheer, seem to think because he got 70%, it's essentially united and there's no need for overtures. Do you think that there needs to be overtures to maybe other parts of the party or other parts of the country?
I don't know. I think the victory was pretty resounding, obviously, and we're not as divided as people would maybe have us, think. We're not. I mean, do we have varying opinions? Absolutely, and that's healthy in a democracy.
How do you think Mr. Poilievre being in charge is going to change things?
Pardon me?
How do you think Mr. Poilievre being in charge is going to change things?
He has already. He's given Canadians hope.
Thank you.
I bet. Too bad.
Vous êtes heureux du résultat ou?
La course est finie. On a un nouveau chef qui a été élu sans équivoque. Alors, on va être derrière lui.
Tout le monde se rallie.
Tout le monde se rallie.
Incluant le caucus du Québec, tout le monde va...
Vous parlez aux députés. Caucus, un caucus.
Quelle devrait être la priorité de M. Poilievre? Qu'est-ce que vous espérez voir de sa part?
Pour moi, là, c'est d'agir rapidement pour mettre de la pression sur le gouvernement pour éviter que d'autres femmes se font tuer comme la semaine passée à Montréal. Je trouve inadmissible qu'on libère des gens alors que le Québec impose le bracelet électronique à des criminels moins dangereux, alors qu'au fédéral, on libère des gens plus dangereux puis on n'a pas encore de bracelet électronique. C'est inconcevable.
Question de loi et l'ordre, donc la sécurité des gens.
Je trouve qu'on a reculé depuis 5 ans. Hein? Le nombre de femmes tuées l'an dernier, 202 au Canada, 113 il y a 5 ans. Il y a un problème quelque part. Les gangs de rue, les armes à feu. Il faut agir, pas juste avoir des projets de loi qui n'ont presque pas de sens, je pense au C5, mais il faut agir vraiment, supporter les corps policiers, agir au niveau des armes illégales qui rentrent au Canada. Mais ma priorité, moi, c'est la violence faite aux femmes. Et ce matin, on en a parlé au caucus et je pense que le parti va maintenir cette ligne-là. Ça va être le parti des victimes.
Qu'est-ce qui explique le résultat de M. Charest? Qu'est-ce qui s'est passé?
Moi, je pense qu'il a traîné durant la campagne les préjugés qui existaient par rapport à son rôle comme premier ministre au Québec. Il a traîné, je dirais, un passé qui n'a pas réussi à détacher de la campagne. Et ça, je pense que ça a fait en sorte que les gens ont gardé cette image-là plutôt que regarder M. Charest comme une personne qui pourrait être premier ministre du Canada.
Are you surprised he's going back to the private sector?
No, what he told us, he will be a part of the party. He wants to share his view about what Canada should be in the year to come. So I'm very happy that Mr. Harper will be in service for the party. And I think for Pierre Poilievre, I think Mr. Charest can be a very good counselor because he has the experience, and Pierre can receive a good advice from Mr. Charest. Hey, bonne journée, merci beaucoup.
Quel genre de changement vous attendez mercredi?
Ben moi, je m'attends à un bel accueil de la part de M. Poilievre. Puis nous, on est là aussi ce matin. Je pense qu'il y a une volonté d'entendre, de voir comment ça va se passer. Alors, on est de bonne humeur, on est content.
Il vous a dit quoi ce matin?
Ah, il a été très à l'écoute, M. Poilievre, ce matin. Et oui, il est venu une petite rencontre surprise. Il nous a surpris ce matin. Il est venu rencontrer le caucus du Québec.
Okay.
Et on a échangé. Alors, vous savez, un caucus, c'est toujours secret. Alors, je vais garder secret l'essence de nos échanges. Mais c'est apprécié. Et donc, on va laisser la chance aux coureurs. On va laisser le temps faire son œuvre. Et le prochain rendez-vous, c'est un rendez-vous électoral. C'est là où ça va être ça. Ah, moi, j'ai jamais annoncé d'avance. J'ai fait 7 élections dans ma vie. J'ai jamais annoncé d'avance où je serai. Alors, pour le moment, je suis au caucus national. Merci.
On l'a vu lors de son élection, dans son discours d'allocution après sa nomination samedi dernier. Il y a quand même eu beaucoup de mots à l'égard du Québec. Alors, oui, j'étais surpris de le voir ce matin, mais ça confirme que c'était important là, pour lui, le Québec, et on est très heureux de ça.
Quel genre
Merci.
de mot d'ouverture il a eu pour ceux qui n'avaient pas nécessairement pied au Québec, qui est la majorité des députés?
Je vous dirais, le mot d'ouverture a été très positif, et puis il est très accueillant comme on le connaît, comme je connais M. Poilievre. Alors moi, je lui ai offert toute ma collaboration. Merci.
Monsieur Poilievre est allé rencontrer le caucus du Québec ce matin?
Oui, absolument. Visite surprise. Visite surprise. Très heureux de ça d'ailleurs.
Oui, hein, c'est
une
absolument.
marque
Intéressante.
C'est une suite logique de son discours qui a été très bon pour le Québec d'ailleurs, je pense.
Donc,
ouverture dans quel sens?
Ouverture dans le sens où, premièrement, il parle très bien français, ce qui est une excellente nouvelle. Il est parfaitement bilingue. Il s'auto-corrige lui-même, en plus, quand il fait des erreurs, ce qui est très bon. Le fait que son épouse est montréalaise, que ses enfants apprennent le français et que c'est la première langue de ses enfants. Ça m'a étonnamment surpris. Puis au niveau politique, je pense qu'il y a une très grande ouverture pour le Québec, puis j'en suis très heureux.
Donc vous vous ralliez à M. Poilievre?
Oh, absolument.
Oui, donc.
How does it feel today?
Fantastic.
Why does it feel so fantastic?
Well, excited to be conservative again, to have a leader who will stand up for our values and our principles, and who is laser focused on making life more affordable and helping build a brighter future for struggling Canadians who feel that they've lost control of their lives and are struggling to make ends meet and are worrying about their future. And he's told us our job is to give Canadians hope. I'm really excited to do that.
Again? What do you mean by that?
Well, as you know, I have previously expressed my concern when we did go through a time where we were not clear to Canadians that we believed in keeping taxes low and some other issues, and I am 100% confident that Pierre Poilievre will stick to his words and reflect our conservative values, that there should be no new taxes and that there should be every effort to make life more affordable for Canadians.
So fiscal values, but social values as well? Where do you stand?
Well,
Mr. Poilievre's positions on that?
As you know, we're a very diverse political party, and our core belief is in the freedom of individual Canadians to hold their own core convictions and express their own values and principles and their worldviews. We believe in free speech and free belief and free expression.
How does the expression change into a policy position?
What do you mean?
Oh, just like, people are, free to believe what they want, and that's all well and good. But when it comes to government policy, how does that affect things? Because some people may not like where a policy direction goes, free to say, free to talk about that. But when it comes to implementing the rules for how society operates, how does that cross over?
Well, our focus for Canadians is going to be on making life more affordable. That's what Pierre Poilievre has ran on. That's what he's always stood for. That's what he did as finance critic. That's what he did has promised his leadership campaign. And he's told us that it will be our priority. And in terms of other social issues, the Conservative Party of Canada has always been diverse and allow for freedom of individual views and free belief, free religion, free expression. Yeah,
Merci.
thank you. Okay, see you later. Thanks, okay.
Très heureux, ça s'est bien passé. On a eu un bon discours du chef, on a eu de bonnes discussions. On est très heureux. Remarquez, notre point évidemment d'attaque est le même que M. Poilievre a évoqué samedi soir, c'est-à-dire que nous, bien, on est concentré sur la fiscalité, on est concentré sur les taxes que les gens payent, on est concentré sur l'inflation. Et c'est le message que l'on va livrer au cours des prochains mois.
Votre collègue, Mme Stubbs, vient juste de dire ça fait du bien d'être conservateur, enfin, à nouveau.
J'ai toujours été conservateur, avant, maintenant, demain, et j'en suis très fier, et ça depuis 1981.
Oui, donc ça veut dire qu'il y a des gens, il y a des... Lehoux, sir?
Hi, how are you doing? I just want to practice my English. Thank you to give me this opportunity, and sorry for that. In the last 3 months, I didn't have the chance, the opportunity to speak, so I'm a little
Listen,
bit rusty.
I am like always around with the camera when you were talking to Deltell. Your English is excellent, it's true. But he can still talk to us.
Yeah.
But that last point you were making, Ms. Stubbs said she's excited to be a Conservative again. What would you say to these fine folks about that?
I am Conservative since 1981. I bought my membership card there. I was 17 years old. I'm very proud to be a Conservative. Then, today, and tomorrow. That's what Conservative is all about.
Is this a real shift? Like, Canadians are going to ask themselves, Canadians who don't follow politics closely are like, this new Poilievre guy. What do you think they need to know about what this era signals?
Well, what we have seen Saturday night and what we have seen today in the message is that we have a leader who is focused on the principle of fiscality. And what we are asking to the people is just to watch us and to listen to us. I think that Mr. Poilievre is very focused on the fact that people are paying too much taxes, no more high taxes, and we have to reduce it, and we are very concerned with inflation. Mr. Poilievre was the one the first to raise the issue as a finance critics around 2 years ago, the fact that inflation is coming, and then this is what we see today. So people in Canada are concerned with inflation. Mr. Poilievre is the one to talk about that and to solve this issue.
Are you going to say to us today that the Governor of the Bank of Canada should be fired then?
That's not where I stand on that. So the point is that we have to focus more than ever on the situation that the people are serving right now, and the inflation obviously is one of the main targets. I spend all the summer meeting people in my riding, and also I travel a little bit in Quebec, and people are very upset with the inflation. So this is why inflation is the big issue of the Canadian family right now. We have to address it, and Mr. Poilievre is the one to do that.
What sort of concrete steps would Conservatives take to fight inflation?
I think we will have a few days in front of us and a few weeks in front of us to express what we have to do on that, and we feel very comfortable.
How do you see Mr. Poilievre navigating some of the divides on social issues in the party?
Right now I have some issue with my throat, so I have to be very careful. I know, well, I think with the message is that Mr. Poilievre got a strong result on the first round, so he's the leader of every Conservative member in this party. A guy like me, who are members since 1981 under Joe Clark, and a guy like new people who are coming in our party. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of people. In Quebec, we're talking about 57,000 people, new member in our party. So there is a lot of attraction to us, and now we have to prove. We have 2 years in front of us to deserve the support and to reach out the support of Canadians, not by chance, not by accident, but serious work. And we have to get the support of Canadians, and we have 2 years in front of us to table a policy that will not attract Canadians just by chance, but to earn. That's the way I want to express it. Nous devons mériter la confiance des Canadiens. We have to earn the confidence of Canadians. We have 2 years in front of us to do so. Gentlemen, it has been a real pleasure for me.
You guys can make inroads?
What?
With the provincial election coming up in the swing.
There is no way in our tradition in Quebec, and I'm very proud of that because as you know, I've been involved in the federal level and the provincial level. There is no link, no involvement on the provincial level when you're at the federal level, neither on the both ways. So that's the way we want to run the show on that. I am on the federal level, very proud to be on the federal level. I was on the provincial level. I was very proud to be on the provincial level. But I have enough on my highs right now to go on the other highs.
Do you think you can make a movement, though, in Quebec? Like, there's a provincially, there's a swing to Conservatives.
What is interesting to me is to see a movement on the federal level, and I will let people on the provincial level do whatever they do. That's the way. But historically, on the federal level, we don't touch the provincial level, and that's the way to do it. And I'm very proud of that. Even if I was, as you know, on the provincial level a few years ago. Gentlemen, Madame, it has been a real pleasure to talk to you, and have a nice day.